in a weird way, if you're corrupt, as long as you have your chest puffed out and say, oh, fuck you, or whatever, that somehow that's some perverted form of masculinity. I believe there should be a reckoning. And I think the Democrats, as usual, reach down and can't feel anything called testicles. I think they should be talking about statute of limitations and how it does not run out, and how the clemency and pardon process should be severely reviewed, and that to the letter of the law, we need to hold people accountable for theft, for fraud, for, I won't call them war crimes, but extrajudicial killings or murders, regardless of how long they served in office. I think there needs to be a reckoning here. And Brazil has a much stronger democracy right now than the United States. When they planned their own insurrection, the leader there was shamed and had to basically flee the country.
Which made Trump very mad.
I'm hopeful. There's no denying that we have gone 0 to 60 in corruption. I won't say 0 to 60. We were already at 5 miles or 10 miles an hour of corruption, and then he just broke the sound barrier. He just said, well, clearly America is willing to accept this, and I'll just be loud and proud about it, which will come across as strength. I am shocked that his own base isn't more turned off by it, and I am disappointed that progressives haven't been more aggressive around what should and hopefully will be a reckoning around what is clearly, in my view, criminal behavior.
GigNewton.com is the place to sell and trade professional online services. Gigs for digital services at huge discounts. Go to GigNewton.com and create your free account today.
Yeah, hi there, Brian. I very much admire your show.
Thank you.
And just a very brief background, from 2017, when I first saw Donald Trump stalking Hillary Clinton on stage, I knew this guy was a world ender. And I told my brother, who lives in America, he's an American citizen now, this guy could end the world. And this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This guy is on the verge of precipitating a World War III in Europe. He's an immoral moron, and I cannot believe he got voted in the second time. I just can't believe it.
Neither can I. Neither can I. I mean, what do you think about America and American voters that somehow this guy got back into the White House?
Look, the first time I got it, I got why they thought he was a disruptor, and the American political machine was corrupt and run by pseudo-oligarchs and so on and so forth. I understood that, and they thought he was going to change it. That's the lie he told. That's the impression he gave. But he clearly, anybody with half a brain can see that's not what he did, and that's not what he was, and that's not who he is. Mm-hmm. And yet, you voted him for the second time. I was so sure this wouldn't happen. I came to America to watch the election with my brother. Wow. I came to San Francisco to watch it with him and to celebrate his defeat. Mm. And I mean, pick him once, okay. Pick him twice, you're crazy.
So I agree with you.
You're crazy. How did 70 minutes?
I agree with what you're saying. I wanted to ask you, when you have conversations like this about Donald Trump with other of your fellow neighbors in the UK, what is that conversation like? What do you guys talk about?
Well, largely we hate him in Britain. We hate him. He's exactly the type of person Britons don't like. We don't like bullies in this country, which is why we stood up to Hitler. And that's the character of Britain. We don't like bullies.
You listen to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Oh yeah! The only place to be.
Give me an M. Give me an A. Give me a G. Give me another A. What does that spell? Crazy. Isn't that just the most fun thing ever? I mean, how awesome is it to spell out words like that? It just brings so much energy and joy. Let's celebrate our craziness together. Yay!
Sharing our voices, opinions, and vital information. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Here's another juicy tidbit as Dan Goldman torches Kristi Noem and leaves her absolutely speechless.
For 5 minutes questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to go back to Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's case, Madam Secretary. But my first question for you is a pretty simple one. It's basic civics. Which branch of government does the Constitution give the authority to interpret what the law is, the judiciary or the executive branch?
Sir, going forward, the interpretation of the law, you make the laws in this body. The judicial branch makes sure that they have integrity and they're applied properly to individuals.
So I'm just going to take that as the judiciary branch. Now, let's focus for a second on what the judiciary branch has said about this case. We know the Supreme Court has said 9-0 that notwithstanding your statements under oath here today, that Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was afforded due process. He was, in fact, not afforded due process, because then if he were, you would have seen the withholding order that did not permit him to be deported to El Salvador. Now, you allege, and I guess the Attorney General alleges, that he's a member of MS-13. That may very well be the case. And if he is, now that is a foreign terrorist organization, certainly the immigration laws would allow him and in fact require him to be deported. I certainly would support that. But the problem that we have here is what you allege, what Ms. Green alleges, what the Attorney General alleges, is not the judiciary. You don't get to decide whether or not he is an MS-13 member. And you don't have to take my word for it, because Judge Wilkinson, a Fourth Circuit judge, very conservative, addressed this argument. He said, the government asserts that Abrego Garcia is a terrorist and a member of MS-13. Perhaps, but perhaps not. Regardless, he is still entitled to due process. If the government is confident in its position, it should be assured that position will prevail in proceedings to terminate the withholding of removal order.
Broadcasting live from the top of Radio Mountain, this is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Lines at the store, bills in a stack. Talk is cheap, but we want it back. Clocked in, clocked out, same car, less stuff. Every check shrinking, people had enough. Big talk on the screen, but the tank's on fumes. You can feel that shit every living room. Down, 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 go to polls for the clown. We ain't buying what you're selling now. Spin that story, we just turn you down, 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 down. Go to polls for the clown. Promises pile like junk in the yard. Blame someone else when it got too hard. Fact check fatigue from the day-to-day spin. Whole crowd chanting we won't fall again. Down, 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 go the polls for the clown. We ain't buying what you're selling now. Spin that story, we just turn you down, 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 down. Go the polls for the clown. Down, 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 down. Hands up if you're done with the drama. Hands up if you're broke from the great plan. We don't need another show, another camera. We just wanna live better than we have. Beat drops, true knocks. Voters in control. Watch the red line slip off the road.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Woke up this morning, turned on the TV. Every channel screaming at me urgently. Breaking news, but it broke 3 days ago. Same 5 stories on a loop. Here we go. The ticker scrolling, my blood pressure's rising. Everything shocking, but nothing surprising. They got a panel of 12 to debate whether a tweet from last night was great. Don't get hooked to cable news, it'll give you the 24-hour blues. They decide what matters today based on clicks and what advertisers pay. Don't get hooked to cable news, you'll be angry and confused. They're selling drama by the pound while the real world spins around. Corporate headquarters picks the story. Outrage gets ratings, truth gets boring. If it bleeds, it leads, that's the golden rule. But somehow they missed that chemical spill near my school. Got 17 pundits yelling at each other about some celebrities. Brother's mother. Exclusive interview with the same 3 guests who were on 5 other shows. I'm not impressed. Don't get hooked to big 24-hour blues. If they decide what matters today based on clicks and what advertisers pay. Don't get hooked to cable news, you'll be angry and confused. They're selling drama by the pound while the real world spins around.
Pharmaceutical ads every 7 minutes. Funny how they never question what's in it. This segment brought to you by Big Oil Corp. Right before climate science gets distorted, the graphics flash, the music's tense. Everything's alert, but it don't make sense. They manufacture urgency and fear, cause calm informed people don't keep watching here.
Don't get hooked to cable news, the 24-hour blues. They decide what matters today based on clicks and what advertisers pay. Don't get hooked to cable news, you'll be angry and confused. They're selling drama by the pound while the real world spins around. So turn it off and go outside. Read a book, take a bike ride. The world ain't ending every single day. No matter what cable news might say. No matter what cable news might say. No matter what cable news might say.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
The United States is under growing scrutiny abroad after Iran's president warned of a harsh response to recent American actions. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Iran's president said any answer to a potential attack on his country would be severe in what appeared to answer a warning from President Donald Trump.
Ukraine and Russia are, according to President Donald Trump, edging closer than ever to a possible peace deal.
Trump said negotiators are very close to an agreement following his latest conversation with Vladimir Putin.
President Donald Trump has acknowledged that the United States struck a dock facility in Venezuela used to load suspected drug boats.
Trump told reporters the U.S. hit a coastal installation where vessels accused of carrying narcotics allegedly prepare to depart.
A powerful winter storm is marching east across the country, bringing heavy snow, fierce winds, and dangerous travel from the plains to the northeast.
Forecasters say the rapidly intensifying system will produce blizzard conditions.
Mr. Secretary, I wanted to talk to you about the president's personal business interests. During his first term, he made the decision to not enter into any new business deals during his presidency, that Trump-affiliated businesses would not enter into any foreign business arrangements. And that made sense because obviously it can be confusing for foreign governments to know how to try to win favor with the U.S. government if they have one route, making concessions that are good for U.S. national security, and they also have another route, which is perhaps helping the president's business interests. The president obviously changed that policy, and in this administration, his business interests are announcing new agreements and new investments into those business interests by foreign governments. And I think it stands to reason that creates a real problem for foreign policy, and it creates a problem for foreign governments in which they don't exactly know what the best way is to try to get on good terms with the U.S. government and with the White House. Is it to do what's right for American national security, or might it also be to do a business deal with the President of the United States or the entities that he controls? Just to clarify, when the President's businesses are engaged in negotiations, for instance, with the UAE on their stablecoin business, there was this big investment announced recently. You are not part of those negotiations. Those are being done by the president's family or those representing the president's business.
Yeah, I'm not aware the president's involved in managing any business. He's other than the presidency of the United States. His family is allowed to make business deals. They continue to operate the enterprises that his family ran. I also don't accept the notion that these deals, that, for example, in Saudi Arabia or the UAE or Qatar, had anything to do with the president. For example, the Qatar bought $200 billion worth of airplanes from Boeing. The president's not as far as I know, not a shareholder, certainly doesn't own Boeing. So the overwhelming, if you look at the deals that were structured, they were involved in investments in the United States. That's the deals he signed, and or investments in, for example, the UAE or Saudi Arabia involving artificial intelligence.
UAE did announce a massive investment in World Liberty Financial, and World Liberty Financial is controlled by the president. And the president does actively engage in these businesses. He uses his social media to market the businesses that are being run by his family. I mean, just go onto his social media feed and you will see him marketing his meme coins. So that is the president of the United States. That is not his son's doing.
But that, just to be clear, that was not part of this. That was not an announcement as part of this trade visit that was conducted into the Middle East.
Well, whether or not it was made during the time the president was there are obviously business deals being done between Trump entities and these countries.
You're stuck in the middle with Alan Edwards.
So did you get a chance to see Donald Trump's cabinet meeting the other day? What I witnessed was not governance. It was not leadership. It was 3-hour performance of institutional degradation that should make every American skin crawl. Donald Trump's marathon cabinet meeting wasn't about policy or national priorities. It was a sycophancy show, where Trump soaked up credit from his cabinet as he moved to assert personal dominance over American institutions. And leading the brown-nosed brigade was billionaire Steve Witkoff, who delivered what might be the most pathetic display of bootlicking in modern political history. Witkoff declared, "There's only one thing I wish for, that the Nobel Committee finally gets their act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since the Nobel Award was ever talked about." Oh my God, the single finest candidate in history. For what? Cozying up to dictators? Undermining democratic institutions? But here's what's truly infuriating and disgusting. Multiple moments from this marathon meeting went viral for the disgusting way top officials appeared to compete in showering the president with praise. They're not cabinet secretaries. They're contestants in a flattery competition, each trying to outdo the other in their commitment and servility. This is your government, America.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
More listener feedback from the Truthcast feedback line.
Thank you for doing this story on Trump's Kennedy Center Awards ratings. Thank you for reminding people how much of a flop it was. As you stated, Trump is all about ratings. So he had to be totally pissed when he found out that he got the lowest rating ever in the history of that awards show. He's so pathetic. Did he really think that he was going to have high ratings with him hosting the event? I'm so glad the event flopped. Many would say it's not fair for the award recipients, while those recipients were all MAGA supporters. So all I can say is, oh well.
To get on the air and give us your feedback, go to dailycast.news/talk.
Broadcasting live, 24 hours a day, for Democrats, moderates, and independents. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
I'm not in a cult. I am not in a cult. People that think they have to defend every single letter or word or sentence of President Trump, if you think that's what you have to do, you are in a cult. I am not in a cult. I elected President Trump. I fought for him and put him in the White House. And again, I'll remind everybody, voted with him 98% of the time, put him in the White House because I believed in America First policies. I don't believe in fighting every foreign war. I do not believe in calling affordability crisis. I don't believe that's a hoax. I don't believe raping 14 and 16-year-olds is a hoax. And in President Trump, I went against him on bringing 600,000 Chinese foreign students. I don't support H-1B visas, and I don't support the state moratorium, AI state moratorium, taking away state rights. People need to judge me by my actions.
I'm busy. What do you want? Shouldn't you be rage-watching Fox News?
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Yo. Cameras flash. Clock a move. Same old speech, same old news. Clock on the wall, keep spinning, they stall. Hearings, meetings, all talk. Roll call, everybody point fingers like it's sports season. Whole block needs help, they debate reasons. Bills stack up, dust on the folder. Grandma can't pay for her meds, getting older. They argue in suits, we argue in line. They go on recess, we run out of time. Congress is failing, we out here waiting. Rent past due and the roof still raining. Talk, 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 but the check ain't changing. Congress is failing. Whole town saying if they won't move and the streets start swaying. Talk, 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 but the clock's still banging. They pass the blame, then they pass vacation. We pass due, stressing the whole nation. Kids in the lunch line sharing a plate. They hold a fundraiser, calling it fake. Lobby calls ring, that's priority one. While a vet on the corner can't face the sun. They swear they care every time they're campaigning. But once they win, man, the signal keep fading. Congress is failing, we out here waiting. Rent past due and the roof still raining. Talk, 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 but the check ain't changing. Congress is failing. Whole town saying if they won't move and the streets start swaying. Talk, 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 but the clock's still banging. Stand up, name names, who signs, who flames. Write down every empty vow, every dodge, every knot right now. We the ones that they keep sidelining. We the ones that they keep defining. Congress is failing. Congress is failing. Congress is failing. Congress is failing.
Dailycast.
President Donald Trump told Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene earlier this year that he opposed releasing the Epstein files because doing so would hurt his friends. According to Greene's comments in a New York Times Magazine profile published Monday, Greene, a Georgia Republican who was once one of Trump's most outspoken allies but has since split with him, said Trump also refused to meet with Epstein survivors in the Oval Office. saying they hadn't earned that honor. She recounted that the remarks came during her final conversation with Trump, a phone call he placed after she joined a September news conference alongside Epstein survivors on Capitol Hill. During the call, which Green says she took on speakerphone, Trump shouted at her, The Times reported.
Bull is cool, just for audio professionals, for podcasters, radio stations, voiceover, and more. Go to www.bull.io. That's www.bull.io.
You know what's wild about Democratic leadership? Sometimes you watch them negotiate and you wonder if they're playing for the other team. It's like watching a basketball player accidentally score on their own hoop and then celebrating the points. Democratic leaders will go into negotiations with Republicans like they're trying to win a Most Cooperative Player award instead of, actually winning. Yeah, we're willing to compromise on everything we believe in if you'll just promise to think about maybe considering our position. It's like watching someone play poker by showing their cards to everyone at the table and then asking if anyone needs help with their strategy. Here's what we want, here's our bottom line, and here's exactly how desperate we are to make a deal. Your move. Democrats will have a winning hand and somehow find a way to fold. Republicans could show up to negotiations with a pair of twos, and Democrats would be like, well, we respect your right to have those cards. Perhaps we could split the pot. You'll see Democratic leadership make statements like, while we fundamentally disagree with our Republican colleagues' plan to set everything on fire, we appreciate their passion and look forward to finding common ground in the ashes. Can you imagine if Republicans ever acted like this? Picture Mitch McConnell saying, you know what, the Democrats have a point. Let's give them everything they want and ask for nothing in return, because bipartisanship is beautiful. That man would spontaneously combust. Democratic leaders negotiate like they're trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize for most reasonable person in an unreasonable situation. Meanwhile, Republicans negotiate like they're trying to win a reality show called Survivor Capitol Hill Edition. It's like Democrats are playing chess while following the rules of checkers, and Republicans are playing football while pretending it's chess. Excuse me, that's not a legal move in chess. We're not playing chess anymore, we're playing Calvin ball, and we just changed all the rules. Democratic leadership will spend months crafting the perfect compromise bill that addresses everyone's concerns, and Republicans will vote against it anyway. Then Democrats will be like, well, we respect their decision and hope to work together in the future.
This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Breaking news on a Monday. Spilled coffee on my badge. Toll lines down on the driveway. Tourists filming on their pads. Secret Service in sunglasses. Trying hard to keep a grin. Somebody left the gates wide open and let the circus stumble in. There's crazy in the White House, dancing on the desk right now, spinning in a swivel chair, shouting who's in charge in here. There's crazy in the White House, beat so loud it shakes the town. If the roof is coming down, we're gonna turn this madness up, right now. Staff phones all on silent. Oh, press room packed like a club. Oh, some maids pacing in the hallway, muddy. Man, we're so done. Oh, but outside on Pennsylvania, crowds are laughing at the show. If the grown-ups lost a handbook, guess we'll write our own. Guess we'll write our own. There's crazy in the White House, dancing on the desk right now, spinning in a swivel chair, shouting who's in charge. up if you feel it. This wild earnings reveal. If power looks like chaos, then maybe truth looks real. So we'll dance in marble hallways till the whole act is exposed. If crazy's sitting at the top, it's time the people stole the show.
Right now.
There's crazy in the There's crazy in the
An Illinois woman who meant to buy one lottery game walked away with a $250,000 prize after getting the wrong ticket by mistake. State lottery officials said she asked for a specific fast play game, but the clerk sold a different one instead. She decided to keep it, scan the ticket, and learned it carried a $250,000 top prize. The winner told the lottery she plans to pay bills and share some of the money with family, turning a small mix-up into a big holiday surprise. Andy Sanchez reporting.
Another Truthcast Newstalk Radio editorial.
The United States' poorly educated status is nothing short of a national embarrassment. In the world's wealthiest country, a staggering 54% of adults read below a 6th grade level, with a shocking 20% unable to comprehend text beyond a 5th grade level. Let that sink in for a moment. More than half of American adults struggle with reading materials that most children master before they hit their teens. This isn't just disappointing, it's a crisis that threatens the very foundations of our democracy and our position on the world stage. Trump is taking advantage of this as he continues to dumb down Americans. But as if these numbers weren't alarming enough, the situation appears to be worsening. Recent data shows that our children's reading scores are plummeting, with both 4th and 8th graders performing significantly worse than they did just a few years ago.
Information you need, opinions you want. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Hi, my name's Richard Reeves, and I've spent the last few years thinking about, researching, and writing about the struggles that young men, and particularly working class men, are facing in America. Because of how the last election went, there's a lot more attention on young men than actually at any time since I've been working on this issue. But I've been wondering, with all of this discourse talking about men, how many people have actually talked to men? After all, the problems facing men are real and serious. Men account for 80% of deaths from suicide, 70% of overdose deaths, 70% of the homeless population in America. They've fallen behind in education, in the labor market, and other major metrics. And it's young men in particular, those aged between 20 and 30, who are feeling the sharpest impact of many of these changing ideas and paradigms about men's roles, opportunities, and their outcomes. Let's look at some economic realities. In the top 20% of the income distribution, both women and men are flourishing on almost every measure. Growing wealth, longer lifespans. But outside of this top bracket, over the last 50 years, the trajectories for women and men have been very different. Women today are working more and for better pay than ever before. There's still a gender pay gap, but it's narrowing, which is great news. Men, on the other hand, are working less, often for worse pay. Real wage levels for many men are trending down.
Oh dear, Dailycast Newstalk Radio is so absolutely delicious. I no longer have to wipe my bottom every time I get my news. I'm saving bundles on my toilet paper. I'm tingling all over, even in those private places.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Today we're talking about Donald Trump's health. Because apparently science still hasn't figured out how this man is still walking around. He spent years making fun of people's weight, calling them fat, sloppy, or disgusting. And yet, have you looked at him lately? He's one Big Mac away from starring in a medical documentary. This is the guy who once mocked someone for sweating, but he can't walk down a ramp without looking like he's auditioning for America's Funniest Home Videos. He points at other people's guts while he's standing there with a belly so big his tie is basically working overtime as a tarp. And the color. My God, the color. One day he's bright orange, the next day he's gray. He doesn't look like a former president. He looks like a jack-o'-lantern that's been left on the porch since last October. If karma has a sense of humor, this is it. The man who mocked everyone else's looks now resembles a creamsicle that's been dropped on the sidewalk. But of course, he says he's in tremendous health. Sure. His diet is 90% McDonald's, 10% Diet Coke, and 0% vegetables. If a doctor ever released the real report, it would probably just say, miracle, see appendix for prayer. So the next time Trump lectures anyone about their health or appearance, remember, this is a man who could turn a treadmill into an industrial hazard. Stay healthy, folks. Unlike him.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio. Newstalk Radio.
And now, another MAGA reality slap.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. A constituent in my district in Middletown is going to be paying more for health insurance than he does for his mortgage. Let's cut right to the chase. This is about a vote. The American people, this great democracy that we live in, this once chamber that could actually discuss and debate issues, Speaker Johnson should be bringing this bill to the floor today. Do you have the courage to vote, or are you going to run and hide? You have 4 of you who stood up and said, you know what, in a democracy, this deserves a vote. Listen carefully, American people, how they decry this bill, and yet they won't even have a vote.
You listen to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Oh yeah. The only place to be.
And now, another MAGA reality slap.
Trump lives the life of the chronic bullshitter. You know, he's got his powder down, he goes out, he sells a good line, but every so often, the chickens come home to roost. You know, people say, well, you promised me this, where is it? You know, and that, you know, he ran for office again saying, I'm going to fix the economy and I'm going to make everything better and we're going to be respected in the world and I'm going to be a peacemaker and so on and so forth. And the reality is you can get all the made up trophies from FIFA and other people you want, and you can have your cabinet say that, you know, you're handsome and you have a six-pack and all that kind of stuff. But what does it mean for regular people? And the problem is, this ties to your prior question, over the next year, what are you going to see? You're going to see prices go up. You're going to see the economy slow down. You're going to see that the services you got from the Veterans Administration are not as available to you anymore. You're going to see the cost of your health care double or triple or quadruple, you know, and that you're not going to be able to actually afford your health care. If your kid got picked up on a school bus because they're disabled, you're going to see that that program is canceled. If you look outside your window, and you're living in most American cities these days, you're going to see ICE rounding up your neighbor or rounding up somebody who works in your neighborhood, dragging them off, whether they're an American citizen or they're not, whether they did anything wrong or not, whether they're contributing to the community or not. And that's going to add up. And I think that that's why the year is going to be terrible. And it's just doubly terrible for Donald Trump, because despite all his efforts to put his thumb on the scale of the elections, there will be an election next year.
The left, moderates and independents unite. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Renee Hardman wins a special election in Iowa by 43 points as major momentum builds heading into the midterms as Democrats keep overperforming against MAGA in special elections and elections across the country.
Democrats have won another special election with a 20-plus point overperformance. That is 5 20-point overperformances relative to 2024, for those of you keeping track at home, and 6 this year where we have exceeded our 2024 margins by 10 points or better. This time, Senator-elect Renee Hardman over in West Des Moines held on to a Democratic state Senate seat, ensuring that Republicans do not regain the supermajority and making sure that folks across our state and all over the country know that Iowa is squarely in play when we get to 2026. I want to personally say thank you to everybody who volunteered for Senator-elect Hardman's campaign, so many folks who contributed from across our state and across the country to make sure that we had the resources that we needed to win. This is what winning feels like, and I want you to think about this moment as you think about how exciting 2026 is going to be. I'm Zach Walz, Democratic candidate for the U.S. Senate. If you've been looking for your sign to know that Iowa is in play this next year, this is it. We'll see you on the other side.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio, a new way to get your news. How do you like us now?
We're Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Look, I keep hearing Trump say he's making things great again. But I just left the grocery store and I'm not sure my wallet got the memo. Eggs are like gold, cereal's climbing higher than my cholesterol. And don't get me started on steak. He promised to bring food prices down. But if down means slightly less painful while still horrifying, then mission accomplished, I guess. He said he'd fix inflation. So why does my paycheck shrink every month? But the price of snack cakes multiplies like rabbits. And remember when he swore he'd end the wars, cut my taxes, clean up Washington, and maybe give us free IVF? I feel like the only thing he's handed out for free is a migraine. I'd call it a plot twist, but at this point, I just call it Tuesday. If the next thing he promises is affordable avocados, I'm buying a lottery ticket. Anyway, Mike out.
I'm busy. What do you want?
I just wanted to say, yo, mama.
So let me get this straight. You called just to say that?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Yo, mama.
Okay, thanks for calling.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio. Like a question mark. They polished every little surface, but it still feels like a theme park. Champagne in a paper thin flute, red carpet on discount roll. Everybody acting so high dollar, but you can see the seams in the show. Cross-eyed, frames thicker than the truth they're holding, crooked on the wall, still side by side. Crystal bowls, mystery flowers, tasty smell in the aircon cold. Selfies in the bathroom mirrors, trying hard to look like old money old. Like old gold, shining like a spray tan soul. All that glitter, all that glow, looks rich till you get too close. Martyr, like old gold, painted bright on bargain stone. It's heavy on the brag, light on the real. Martyr, like old gold. buy yourself some class. Raise a glass to the knockoff palace. Toast to every fool once sold. Heart still beats for rust and honest dust over that fool's parade of gold. Mar-a-Lago gold. Mar-a-Lago gold. Mar-a-Lago gold. Mar-a-Lago gold. Mar-a-Lago
President Donald Trump has acknowledged that the United States struck a dock facility in Venezuela used to load suspected drug boats.
Trump told reporters the U.S. hit a coastal installation where vessels accused of carrying narcotics allegedly prepared to depart. The Pentagon has not confirmed which branch carried out the operation or released targeting details. U.S. officials say a separate strike on a suspected drug boat in the Pacific killed 2 people, the 30th such action this year. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Ukraine and Russia are, according to President Donald Trump, edging closer than ever to a possible peace deal.
Trump said negotiators are very close to an agreement following his latest conversation with Vladimir Putin and a meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. He described teams on both sides as making progress toward a framework to end the war. Details of any draft terms have not been released, and officials in Kyiv and Moscow have not publicly confirmed a timeline. Liam White reporting.
The United States is under growing scrutiny abroad after Iran's president warned of a harsh response to recent American actions. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Iran's president said any answer to a potential attack on his country would be severe in what appeared to answer a warning from President Donald Trump. He spoke as U.S. forces carried out a 30th strike on a suspected drug boat, part of a broader push against narcotics trafficking. Regional governments are watching closely as tensions rise between Washington and Tehran.
Health policy in the United States is undergoing major changes as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reshapes the agenda at the Department of Health.
Kennedy, serving as health secretary in President Trump's second term, has moved to roll back some long-standing regulations while promoting alternative health approaches. Supporters say the shifts give patients more freedom and cut red tape for providers. Critics warn the rapid changes could weaken vaccine programs and undermine established public health safeguards. Jessica Oakley reporting.
New Orleans is preparing for packed New Year's Eve crowds with National Guard troops set to patrol streets alongside local police.
Officials say about 350 Guard members will start duty in the French Quarter as part of a broader security plan. The move follows last year's deadly attack on Bourbon Street and other high-profile Guard deployments in major cities. Authorities stress the troops will focus on visibility and crime deterrence, not immigration enforcement, and are expected to stay through Carnival season. Kyle Norris reporting.
A powerful winter storm is marching east across the country, bringing heavy snow, fierce winds, and dangerous travel from the plains to the northeast.
Forecasters say the rapidly intensifying system will produce blizzard conditions in parts of the northern plains and upper Midwest. New England and the interior northeast face a mix of snow, ice, and freezing rain as the storm taps cold air from Canada. Airlines and highway agencies are warning of more disruptions. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
I am so stressed. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of MAGA. They are destroying this country, and I don't understand why they believe Trump is doing good. He's a mess. They are a mess. They're really stressing me out. It's disgusting. It's gross. I need to mentally refresh, and I can't do so if I continue to go on social media and see that large, gross old man spewing his hate. I can't wait for 2028. He needs to be impeded now.
For entrepreneurs and business motivation, go to Dime.Club. It's all about getting you moving forward, growing, and making money. www.dime.club. It's free. Check it out today.
Another op-ed from one of our dedicated listeners.
I gotta say that previous message from that baby boomer, that old man that says that all Gen Z are lazy and we all need to go into the military, how outrageous. And I'm actually surprised that you guys allowed him to say that. This baby boomer, who had a great opportunity for home prices, gas prices, income, retirement plans, all of that was basically handed to them back in the day. None of that is available to us anymore. Jobs are horrible now. There are no retirement plans. We cannot buy a house. Prices are outrageous. Gas prices are outrageous. There's nothing available to us now like there was for baby boomers. It was all swept away when we came into this world. And now we have this baby boomer saying we're all lazy and we're all entitled and we all need to go into the military. How dare him? I would love to buy a house at the price that he paid for. I would love to buy the income equality like he had. It's just disgusting, the tunnel vision that these people have. We're not lazy. Just give us the opportunity to have the same thing as they did.
Yeah, I'm Hank from Sacramento, California. I just wanted to share my opinion on food prices, gas prices, the economy, inflation, how we're all being taken advantage of. It's disgusting. And I hate these record-breaking profits that the food industry is making, but yet they still say that inflation is what is affecting high prices. You know, you have this Walmart family continually raising prices every day, and they have record profits for shareholders. There's something wrong. Why do us, the common American folk, have to pay for these high prices when you have a huge mega food company like Walmart providing and stating their record profits for shareholders? Doesn't anybody see that it's not inflation, it's not the economy, it's just the greed of these food companies that are taking advantage of the situation? It's disgusting. What can we do? All we can do is just take it. We pay the high prices and continue to give these record profits to these companies.
To get on the air and give us your opinion editorial, just go to dailycast.news/talk.
It's about moving forward, sharing opinions and providing news and information. For Democrats, moderates, and independents. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
You know, 8 years ago, I launched my very first campaign for the Texas House of Representatives, back home in Williamson County. Back then, I was told the race was unwinnable. I was told flipping a Trump district was impossible. I was told I was too young. I was told I didn't have the money or the political connections to win. I was the underdog in that race. But my neighbors and I, we ran an aggressive, authentic, unorthodox campaign that brought people together. And on election night, we flipped that district with 51% of the vote. That was a hard-fought race, and it almost cost me everything. In that very first campaign, I was a healthy 28-year-old, and I decided to walk the entire length of my district, 25 miles, all in the Texas heat, holding 3 town halls along the walk. Halfway through, I started to feel fatigued and nauseous. I threw up a couple times along the walk, but somehow I finished. When I got home, I went to bed. I figured I was dehydrated, but I slept for 36 hours straight. My family got concerned. They took me to the ER where nurses checked my blood sugar. I'd never had my blood sugar tested before. They told me that a normal blood sugar is 100 or lower. Mine was 900. I was in a state of diabetic ketoacidosis, which leads to coma and death without insulin. I was lucky to be alive. When I got out of the ICU, I went to Walgreens to pick up my first 30-day supply of insulin, and it cost me $684. I didn't have that kind of money, still don't have that kind of money, and so I put it on a credit card. Many Texans with diabetes can't afford their insulin, so they ration or skip doses, and many of them die because of it. All because Big Pharma has manipulated and monopolized the insulin market, driving up prices to maximize profit. So when I got elected, I passed a bill through the Texas legislature to cap insulin copays at $25 per prescription. And I'm not going to stop fighting until insulin is free for every single person who needs it in this country.
I'm busy. What do you want? Shouldn't you be rage watching Fox News?
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Yeah. Count it up, huh? They count on us, though. Listen. Boss got a bonus, you got a pink slip. He got a yacht, you got a late rent. They blame the market, blame the cycle while they slide cash to their friends in high offices. Groceries rising, cart feel lighter. You working doubles, they just fly private. They smile on screens, everything's fine, but your card declined in the checkout line. Greedy greed, got us all on our knees trying to breathe. They feast while we scrape these fees. Everyday folks pay the price so the rich stay pleased. Greedy greed, turn our sweat into gold that we never see. They eat, we barely even eat. Everyday Americans pay for that greedy greed. Student loans heavy like chains on your ankle. They bail out banks, call it too big to cancel. You fix their houses, serve their tables, but your own lights flicker at the end of the month. Politicians talk with them, not us. Handshakes, back rooms, dark trust. They buy the rules and sell you blame. Say, work harder while they rig the game. Kids in the classroom, old books, torn pages. CEOs check new watches in cages. We vote, we hope, we march, we bleed. They hear one word only, profit, greed. Oh, greedy, greed, greedy, greed. Got us all on our knees trying to breathe. They feast while we scrape these fees. Everyday folks pay the price so the rich stay pleased. Oh, greedy, greed, turn our sweat into gold that we never see. Hey, we barely even eat. Everyday Americans pay for that greedy greed. They say land of the free, but the freedom ain't cheap. When the rent due first and the raise come weak. From the farm to the factory, streets to the hills. We build, they build, and they call it skill. What if the workers just walked away? What if the people all had to say? Till that day we naming the thief. Greedy, greed, you ain't hiding from me. Oh, greedy, greed. Greedy, greed. Oh, greedy, greed.
The United States is under growing scrutiny abroad after Iran's president warned of a harsh response to recent American actions. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Iran's president said any answer to a potential attack on his country would be severe in what appeared to answer a warning from President Donald Trump. He spoke as U.S. forces carried out a 30th strike on a suspected drug boat, part of a broader push against narcotics trafficking. Regional governments are watching closely as tensions rise between Washington and Tehran.
While the markets tumble and fears arise, Main Street struggles under darkening skies. Families worried about bills they can't pay, yet down in Florida he's swinging away. He's golfing while the world is burning. Economy's sinking, but he's not learning. Americans striving to make ends meet, but he's out there working on his swing. Tariffs rising, prices soar high, households hurt. just wears thin may end. He's golfing while the world is burning. Economy's sinking, but he's not learning. Americans striving to make ends meet, but he's out there working on his History's watching, notes in hand, leaders' actions across the land. While some may choose the leisure way, the people's voice will have its say. He's golfing while the world is burning. Economy's sinking, but he's not learning. Americans striving to make ends meet, but he's out there working on his swing. History's watching, notes in hand. Yeah, leaders' actions across the land. While some may choose the leisure way, the people's voice will have its say.
Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Bob here from Tampa. You know what? Trump's doing exactly what he promised, putting America first with these trade policies and cleaning house in the swamp. Yeah, the establishment's freaking out about his cabinet picks and executive orders, but that's because he's not playing their games. We voted for disruption, not business as usual. The man keeps his promises, unlike career politicians.
This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
According to official French government records, actor George Clooney and his family have officially become citizens of France. This comes after Clooney expressed worries about exposing his kids to the intense spotlight of Hollywood life. A recent Gazette publication from Saturday, detailing newly approved naturalizations, lists Clooney alongside his wife, Amal Clooney, and their twins, Alexander and Ella. Clooney, who retains his American citizenship, and Amal, a British-Lebanese human rights attorney, have strong ties to France already. While they own properties in England and close to his relatives in Kentucky, their main home is a French farm, as Clooney shared with the New York Times back in February. Having grown up in Kentucky, my dream was to escape farm life and that whole world, he explained to the outlet. Yet here I am,